Relax, raccoons. I'm not gonna get you. Jeez, settle down. Frickin' raccoons. Yeah, frickin' raccoons. I'll play a couple songs. I think you guys cleaned up all those crunchies, raccoons. That was it. That was everything. You ate all the food. No more food, you guys. You gotta go hunt for food. That's me. What's up, Skeptic? Nice to see you. Just gonna play a couple tunes. I like when the crickets are out. What's up, Doc? What's up, Doc? Anybody else find it amusing that we have a lame duck named Donald for president? You know, lame duck is like he's running his last term. I think that's what a lame duck is. That what a lame duck is when they're running their last term that they can run. It's like, so they're kind of like, they're not worried about getting reelected, you know, so they're kind of a lame duck. And we just so happen to have a lame duck named Donald. Donald Duck. Donald the lame duck. I notice stupid, meaningless shit like that all the time. I'm a wealth of meaningless trivia. It's like, who writes this narrative? This is bullshit. Like when they make up names like fucking, what was it? It was George Floyd's fucking second grade teacher or something. She like came out of the woodwork. She said, oh, he was a great kid or whatever. Her name was Waynell Sexton. Waynell is like Wanal Sexton. Like in the middle of her name, you could see anal sex. Like Waynell Sexton. Yeah, that's a real name. Oh man, I pity the poor kid that had to have that name if that was a real one. You just got to run with it, you know. I mean, it's like what's his name? Dick Buttkiss. My name is Dick Buttkiss. Fucking Dick Buttkiss. They could have named him anything. They could have named that poor guy. They could have named him Dinglrod. They could have named him Douchebag Dillywad. They could have named him Butt Pirate Dingwad Bat Chisel Nut Sauce. I don't know. They named him Dick Buttkiss. Couldn't be much worse than that. Dick. My name's Dick Buttkiss. Or there was Dick Trinkle too. What was the other guy that was like the Olympic, the announcer for one of the Olympics? His name was like, it was something really good. I forget what it was now. Damn, I remember writing it down. It was a good one though. Richard Upright. Oh, that's rough. That's pretty good though. I knew a kid named Michael Hawk. Like Hawk. Hawk. Michael Hawk. At one time, I swear to God, this isn't a Simpsons episode. They came on the intercom. And, can Mike Hawk please come to their? It's like, is this a joke? He went by Michael, but like the guy, they called him Mike Hawk over the intercom. I was like, did he realize what he said? That's terrible. I swear I'm not making that up. I used to know a guy named Ding Dong too. Ding Dong. I once knew a man named Ding Dong. Dicky Dong, Ding Dong, Judah Day. Ding Dong came from Hong Kong. Hong Kong, hickey, hickey, hoo-ha, hey. True story. He played a mean game of ping pong. Used to call him King Kong. Ding Dong, Dicky Judah Day. Sing a song about a man named Ding Dong, Ding Dong, Dicky Judah Day. Ding Dong came from Hong Kong. Hong Kong, hickey, hickey, hoo-ha, hey. Richard Upright, that's pretty funny. Upright, like an upright piano. Was he a pianist? My name is Richard Upright, the pianist. I play an upright piano. I'm a pianist. Dick, the pianist. I'm the pianist. Pianist. I once knew a man named Dick Dong, Dicky Darn, Dude all day. Maybe might be the best guess for what it's worth, for which it's a worth is measured. It is how sure we are, and are we sure how is it measured? Is worth its weight for, worth its weight for a guess best, the B might maybe. Alright, I was gonna play some music. Dweezil Zappa, that's another good one too, yeah. Dweezil, he's cool. I saw him play at Civic in Santa Cruz one time. Well, I know you rider gonna miss me when I know you rider gonna miss me when I'm gone. Well, I know you rider gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna miss your baby from rolling in your arms. Well, lay down last night, Lord, I could not take my rest. I lay down last night, Lord, I could not take my rest. Oh, yeah. My mind was wandering like the wild geese in the west. The sun will shine through my back door someday. The sun gonna shine through my back door someday. March wind will blow all my troubles away. Well, I wish I was a headlight on a northbound train. Well, I wish I was a headlight on a northbound train. I'd shine my light through the cool Colorado rain. make up this song a while ago. If you don't know what a saloon is, well, you really got some catching up to do. You don't know what a saloon is, well, you really got some catching up to do. How's that go? It's so weird. You really got some catching up to do. If you don't know what a saloon is, well, you really got some catching up to do. If you don't know what a saloon is, well, you really got some catching up to do. You don't know what a saloon is, when they're flying overhead, right over you, just out of view. It's like a satellite, man, but it's just attached to a bunch of hot air balloons. If you're wondering why, that's what they're doing for satellites. Well, that's pretty self-explanatory. That's just because it's the only way they can get something like a satellite in the sky. Well, they gotta put it down a bunch of hot air balloons and float it up there as if it was in orbit. But it's not really in orbit, it's just floating up there on some hot air balloons. What do you know about that? If you don't know what a saloon is, well, you really got some catching up to do. You really got some catching up to do. What about satellites? The Earth couldn't be flat. We have satellites. You don't know that gravity is fake. Well, you really got some catching up to do. No such thing as a gravity, and that's just a fairy tale they told you. There ain't no downward force pulling on you, no. That's just a fairy tale. If you don't know, that the moon landing was a crock of shit, well, you must be a fucking idiot. Alright, this song's making me want more cigarettes. A saloon. A Chinese spy balloon. That's some high-tech shit, man. We shot down a balloon. Guess I can make some news. What else is going on? There's got to be something more interesting than that. Hi, raccoons. Been working on my my flat Earth. But see, I feel like if I could get up and I want to get up against one of these big wig like fucking like Neil deGrasse or just even like Professor Dave or whatever. It's not Professor Dave. It's Professor Dave. Felcher, you know what felch is to literally suck ass. You can look that up. To felch. So he's Professor Dave, not Professor. It's Professor Dave. Professor. Hi, raccoonies. Oh, you're so cute. Want to see the raccoons? Professor Dave. If you're Professor Dave, and you're talking hella shit, you should eat a bowl of dicks. It's a song right there. You should eat a bowl of dicks. If you're Bob the Science Guy, telling a bunch of lies, you should eat a bowl of dicks. If you're Professor Dave, you should eat a bowl of dicks. Eat a bowl of dicks. You can't teach a guy like that new tricks. If you're Bob the Science Guy, You should drink another beer. Can't teach a guy like that. His ass from a hole in the ground. If you're Simon Dan, you don't understand much. Time Simon Dan. Just gonna grab a smoke. I know, I probably ate worms. Oh, that sucks. Sorry. That worked out all right then. Dang. Almost ate a worm. That's scary. I had these worms that every time I grow pot here, it's like that. There's like these worms that get in it, and it kind of fucks it up. Like most of it, I can salvage, like and it's like there's always some amount of weed that I have to sacrifice to the worms. There's these little worms, and they don't really do much, but they do fuck up the weed though. But like they abandon the weed. If like once I'm hanging it, if I try to search the weed for worms and get them all out before I hang it, and but then after you hang the weed, if you didn't find the worms, they'll abandon the weed. Like after it's been clipped, they don't want nothing to do with it. And so they hang off these little webs and they hang off the weed. You see these little worms. Ow! What are you doing? That's my foot, dude. You're not gonna eat that. It's not my foot. It's not food. How could you mistake my toe for food? Damn, that scared me. So I'm trying to eat my foot. No, dude, it's not food. It's my foot. It's attached to me, man. What are you thinking? My toes are like live bait. What were you thinking? You don't want to eat my toes, silly? You're looking at me all like confused. You thought my toe was food for real? Or were you just grabbing it with your claws? I couldn't tell. It felt like something sharp was reaching into my toe. They're like, yeah, half-inch long. Little silkworms probably, yeah. I think they get laid by those white butterflies that flutter around. Little moths or whatever. All right. I usually kind of freak out about it and I try to prevent it, but like this year I just was all lax about it. We still got probably harvested about a pound of weed. It's all legit. None of it had any worm damage, but there's still like a few plants down there that I probably lost about a half pound of weed to worms. Really, I'm trying not to think about it too much, but whatever. It's all free weed. I don't want to trip on them. I didn't even kill them this time. I just kind of like fling them off. I used to get all pissed about it and make a big deal over it, but I just figured, whatever, no stress. I'm going to try to keep my plants alive too. Like I noticed one of them's already going back into veg, which is trippy. I never had that happen this early in the season. Usually you'd have to I don't know, it's trippy. Like it'd be cool if that went back into veg. I don't think I would get another harvest this time of year, but I'd be able to maybe keep it alive through the winter and then just put it back out. Maybe I could bring it inside and put it under some lights or something. Because it'll get too cold. It'll eventually die, I think, if I leave it out all year. But that's neither here nor there. Nobody really cares. Doody-doody-doody-da, la-di-da. You know what I've noticed? The more money you shovel at NASA, the more rinky-dink they get. It almost appears to be low budget. But $80 million a day, it's an awful lot to pay for such a cheesy presentation of the International Space Station. They do their spacewalks. I think they're in a swimming pool on Earth when they get those bubbles in space. Bubbles in space. You can see the duper's look of delight on their face. They do a lot of science. They do the science of somersault science. They got a lot of hairspray. You gotta use a lot of hairspray to make your hair look that way. They do the science of deception. Oh, for shame. But the more money you shovel at NASA, the more rinky-dink they get. It almost appears to be low budget. But $80 million a day, you think you'd have more to say for yourself. But they never really say much at all. Their interviews always leave a lot to be desired. I'm like, what was that all about? I don't feel remotely enlightened. We do a lot of science. We do a lot of science. The science of... what kind of science? I know they had some, like, mice up there for a little while. Mice floating around. They're all like, what the fuck? Poor little mice. I think they had to cancel the mouse science, the mice program. There's like little pieces of mice shit floating around, little puddles of mice pee floating through the air. It got kind of messy. There's a little mouse turd floating by. It's nasty, dude. They didn't think that one through very well. Like, look, we can grow lettuce up in space. Are you really in space? I mean, you're like in a fucking artificial environment. It's a low G environment. They can't even explain that shit to like save their ass, dude. It's like, on one hand, they'll tell you, oh, we're just in a controlled fall. You know, so they're falling. The key word being fall. So it's like they're not really, if they're in a controlled fall, like, and they even go so far as to admit that they have to use little, or just, they have, the part of their story is that they have to use little, like, there's little jets, you know, like, they're on, like, you know, they have little fucking, little, like, jets that are on, like, you know, like gyros or something. It knows when it's sinking below a certain elevation and it jets it back up. It's a controlled fall, basically. So it's like if they didn't have little jets going every once in a while, then they'd fall all the way back down to Earth. So, so they're not in a low G nothing. They're in a controlled fall, which is like, you know, how they simulate low G, and you know, when they do the vomit comet where they go up and they kill the engine and they fall, you know. It's like a controlled fall. That's that's a whole different situation than what they explained at first. It's like, oh, we're in space. We're in a controlled fall. Oh, no, it's not space. I mean, what the hell? And that kind of fucks up things. Because sometimes when you see the videos from the ISS, you'll see out the window, like when they shoot, not when they do like the interviews, but when they have like certain tours, the ISS. I remember seeing some of the videos where you could see out the window and you see the Earth is like in the top of the frame, like as though they're, you know, as though they're underneath them. Well, you know what I mean? The Earth is above them in the frame outside the window, to where it's like, you know, where they would be upside down or whatever. But it's like, you're supposed to just get the idea. Oh, there's no up or down out there. But But in reality, if they're in a controlled fall, then basically, if the Earth is above them in the frame there, then that means they're like that clunker, that fucking big ass ISS clunker is like flying upside down above the Earth. I mean, what, dude? That's not what's happening. That would be so janky. That it's all upside down. I mean, what? How do they pull that one off? I mean, we're on the bottom part of the Earth right now. I don't know. The whole story is just so shot. Dude, it's a bunch of bullshit. Right. I mean, like, what has the ISS done for us? I mean, it's like such a joke. It's just, I mean, any amount of critical thinking put towards it, and it just falls apart, dude. Not to mention all the obvious like blunders. I mean, there's so much evidence that it's fake. It's just, it's like Disneyland for grown-ups. That's what I always say. It's like, you know, you have to, suspension of disbelief is required. You can't go in there asking questions. That's why they don't grant interviews to people older than like 8 years old. You know, and even those people, they have to, you know, give them the questions to ask. It's like they can't get any real questions. Otherwise, they'd be fucked. But all the stuff they say when they're being interviewed or when they're talking to Earth, you know, from the ISS, they never have a view out the window when they're doing the, you know, communications with Earth. It's like they never do the communication where you can see out the window and like they're in space. We're talking to the guys in space and we don't have any. There's no view of the space. You know, it's just like these guys and they're like doing little parlor tricks and their fucking floaty fucking shit. You know, it looks all awkward. They're all arms folded, all shirts tucked in, all fucking clean shaven, all like, you know, freshly dry cleaned clothes. All like they've been up in this tin can for fucking 6 months. You know, floating around. I'm sorry, but that would not be like a pretty situation, dude. Not only would it get old after like a day or two, but like you wouldn't be all sparkly clean. I mean, there's no laundromat up there, and just think about how difficult it would be to like clean yourself in a fucking low G in a controlled fall or whatever it is we're doing, like trying to take a shit and just stuff that would be like potentially really messy and stuff that you have to do on a regular basis. I mean, I guess you get the hang of it after a while, but like I don't think your body would really appreciate that being in like a controlled fall constantly. Like I don't think their digestive system, you know, and just like, dude, you're not meant. I don't know. Maybe it's like great. I don't know. Maybe it's really good stuff. Maybe, maybe it's really fun. And these guys they're gonna fucking fly 18,000 miles per hour on a fucking rocket to go dock with ISS. That sounds so risky, dude. I mean, I don't know. It's like fucking. It's funny how there's so many like unscheduled disassemblies and shit that goes wrong all the time, but it's never when there's people in the rocket. It's like those ones always work out, just except for the Challenger. I guess that one blew up. The one that had all the doppelgangers on it. Oh yeah, but if I ever get in front of like a big wig fucking globe proponent, I just want to do my whole circles thing, you know, and just be like, because I think it's such a good point, which is like, dude, you can just be like a retard and debunk the globe. Just be like, check it out. So if I draw a circle on the ground, can you draw a smaller circle around the outside of it? And you find that it's impossible, you know, it's a fool's errand. It can't be done. So we're talking like on a small scale. I draw a circle on the ground, right? The surface of the earth. You can't draw a smaller circle around the outside of it. Okay, well, that's neither here nor there. Nobody thinks it's significant. You know, why would you even say that? It's obvious. Yeah, I know, but the thing is, so you just have to extrapolate that information out. If I draw a really, 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 really fucking big circle on the ground, then can you draw a smaller circle around the outside of it? No. Yeah, exactly. So my point being, obviously, that the circles are only going to get bigger, you know? We're talking the surface of the earth. Like, doesn't matter how big of a fucking circle you draw on the earth, you're never going to be able to draw a smaller circle around the outside of it. It's not possible. You're always going to be in the same situation. You're always going to be walking around the outside of the circle. It's always going to be a bigger circle. I mean, it's just like the way, it's like what anybody would like if you, like just tasked anybody, okay, your task is to draw concentric circles on the surface of the earth. Just go about doing that for the rest of your life, you know, and like people that would be doing that job, they would realize, and the circles would get pretty big after a while, but you know, they'd realize that what's going to happen is that the circles are just going to keep getting bigger. They wouldn't even question that. Nobody would ever be like, how come the circles aren't shrinking? No, nobody would ever think that. They can see that they're going to make a bigger circle every time. It's just so dumb. It's so bonehead status. I mean, it's like whenever I try to bring that up with Globers, like most of them are like most of the Globers that come to chats are wise to my whole thing now. They just think I'm like a one-trick pony or something. Like, no, I'm just pointing out the obvious flaw in this whole thing. Nobody would ever expect those circles to do anything but get bigger. I mean, even people that believe they live on a globe they walk right into that one. Like I got Duffy on that one. I'm like, so can you draw a smaller circle around the outside of the circle? He's all no. I'm like, what if I draw a really big circle? Then can he? He's like, no. I'm like, so the circles just get bigger? And he's like, well, yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, then the Earth can't be a globe. And he's like, what? Oh, wait, what? I'm like, well, yeah, because on the globe the circles can only get so big, as wide as the median of Earth, the globe Earth. And then after that the circles have to start shrinking. I mean, have you ever thought about the latitude lines or circles? They get as wide as the median. It's the biggest circle you're going to draw. Like say if you're going to north to south, it'd be the equator. It's the biggest circle you can draw on the Earth, and then they kind of start shrinking. So it's like, however you want to think about that. I mean, they say the equator is a straight line, but it's like whatever. I say if you start off with a circle, you're going to end with a circle. I mean, it's not like there's ever going to be a straight line, and if there is, you're going to be hitting a wall or something. I don't know. I mean, living on a ball, man, there's a lot of weird things about it that just don't add up. Like, the whole thing is, like, with upside down people. That's the part that, that's the first proof that we got to, like, well, there's upside down people. That's the part that isn't, that we haven't seen. I mean, we just accepted that on faith because we were told that at such a young age, Like, it's like, how come people don't fall off the ball, Mommy? How come it's like people that be upside down? How come they don't fall off the ball and feel upside down, Mommy? Oh, it's because of magic. Oh, well, that makes sense. The three-body problem, it's like, well, we can't get a computer to simulate the three bodies, we can do two bodies just fine, but three bodies when there's a moon, sun, and Earth, we can't simulate that. The computer can't figure that one out. So then what do you deduce from that? Like, well, it's just the thing is, we don't know how it works, but we just know that it does. Right? Well, how do you know that it does? Well, because we're looking at it. Is that what we're looking at? I don't know. I see the sun just moving over the top of us. I don't see us orbiting it. To think that we're orbiting the sun, like spinning around, we're the ones that are flying around the sun's not moving around us. Like, think about how big the Earth is. I mean, it's huge, massive. I mean, it's larger than life, right? It's big. And for this thing to be in motion around the sun, while everything on Earth remains undisturbed from all this I mean, you know what kind of motion that is? I mean, we're talking it's a big thing, for the entire Earth. I mean, to be suspended in emptiness and to be hurtling around the sun at these ungodly speeds, while everything remains undisturbed. I mean, dude, you got to admit that, like, if you were explaining that as a grown adult without having any, indoctrination prior to that, like if you were just like, 40 years old and somebody sprung that on you, like, oh, did you know this is, you'd be like, fuck you. I mean, that doesn't pass a sniff test, dude. I mean, it's just like, the only reason you believe it is because you were indoctrinated into thinking it was true. And like, because there's not even any really, like, science behind any of it. I mean, obviously. That's why there's flat earthers. The stupid anti-science people. I think the only really good proof of the globe, well, it's not even proof. I mean, the only really good argument that I've seen really is the circumpolar sky or whatever, But it's just a sky observation. Like, do I have to think that what the path of the sun in the sky, that there has to be a direct correlation, like a measurement on the ground because of the sun's doing a thing in the sky? Now the ground has to measure a certain way. Is that what we're supposed to think? I mean, I think that seems like backwards logic. I mean, that's why I like the circles thing, because it's like boots on the ground. It's like, I say the Earth's expanse only widens. Like, I mean, of course it does. Like, you draw a bigger piece of property is always going to require a bigger perimeter around it. And that just happens all the way out. It just gets wider and wider. It never starts to close back up. And Well, they say, well, the Earth is like some kind of a little bit chubby, past the equator. Like it's like it gets wider past the equator, is what Neil deGrasse will say. It's like pear shape, It keeps getting wider past the equator, and it's like, so it's like a pear shape, It's like, yeah, I'm sure it gets wider past the equator. It keeps going, yeah. Well, but then it does close back in like a pear, It's like, okay, well, right at the part where you're not allowed to go. That's where it's just all this convenient, like, fucking little model they got all sewn up all tight where it's like, well, you can't go beyond here. The one area that you could go to sort of disprove our model, well, you can't go there. And sorry about your luck. I mean, even with the 24-hour sun, it's like there's so few people that actually get to go see that. It's kind of like it's kind of almost like a moon landing or space, It's like there's such a small percentage of people in the population overall that get to see it. I mean, yeah, there's more people that get to see the 24-hour sun allegedly than go to space, but it's still kind of the same thing where there's not that many people that get to witness it. So it's like this, it's like this trust me bro type thing, And like that shit's annoying. I don't like the trust me bro shit. That's why I'm a flat earther. It's like the flat earth motto. It's like, don't trust anybody. Fuck all you people. You don't trust anybody. Well, it's not the flat earth motto. The flat earth motto is just like, dude, you know what? Like, I'm not going to just believe what people tell me. Like, I need to, like, witness it or, like, have some kind of way of, like, proving it. And it's not like we know what the earth, like, flat earth is, like, default, that's, I guess, or whatever. It's just like, I'm just making them basic observations. Our objective reality is that of a stationary level plane, But like I've said before, I'm pretty much, I'm more down with the uprising earth than I am, like, anti, because I see their point now. I mean, really, which is like when there's a force acting on something, the more dense stuff is pushed towards the direction the force is coming from. Like if you step on your gas pedal in your car and you're pushed against the seat because the force is coming from behind you, pushing you forward, and so you're pushed against the seat. You're the more dense object, and like the helium balloon in the car is going to go with the direction of the force. Is going to go the opposite direction. Same as if you're standing here, you're dense and you're pushed towards the earth, and the helium balloon goes the opposite direction, in the direction of the force. It's like, but we're just, I mean, obviously we're not, we don't think of the earth as being in motion going up. It's like whatever conditions had to be created for this situation to be what it is. I mean, we're experiencing a stationary realm that like, but there's not a downward force. That's where science is really a fucking jump the shark. There's no downward acceleration, which is, I mean, if you really just accept what the information is providing, is like showing you, like you end up with the uprising earth, which is a very unpopular opinion. But I'm always like the underdog. I'm used to it. Like this contact force. But yeah, that's the thing. We're never going to leave this frame of reference, so it's really irrelevant, And that's what is so silly about it is that. Oh hey.
I'm eating a Twinkie.
You're eating a Twinkie, huh?
Twinkies are amazing.
They're just Twinkies. They're not amazing.
Yeah, they are.
Can you close the door? Does the raccoon scare you? One of them tried to eat my foot. I got no reason to believe. 8,000 miles below the ground, people are living their lives in the upside down. Seeing is believing. If it's something I ain't seen, then I got no reason to believe it at all. No, I got no reason to believe that we'd be living on the outside of a ball. Got no reason to believe. I don't care how many equations you show me, you'll never prove the sky goes below me. Sounds like a bunch of baloney to me. Well, seeing is believing, and it's something I ain't seen, and I got no reason to believe it at all. I got no reason to believe that the earth is a ball. 8,000 miles below the ground. Someone's riding their bike, but they're upside down. I used to laugh about that when I was a kid. I'm like, dude, if you could just fall all the way through the earth, you know, just fall all the way through the earth, you'd be like falling up out of the ground on the other. Just watching some dude falling up out of the ground. You know, I don't think the earth is a ball, but I think it could be round. I like when they say, "Oh, Neil deGrasse Tyson, is the earth round or is the earth flat?" And be like, "Oh no, it's round." It's like, that's not. The earth could be flat and round. You understand that, right? He understands that. You know what I mean? He's being dodgy on purpose because he knows. I think he knows. That stuff is flat, baby. And I think he's just like, his whole position, his whole purpose is just to counter it, to be like the controlled opposition against flat earth, you know? Like flat earthers will like, because he comes out with these statements that are clearly like directed at the things that we're talking about or things that we've pointed out, you know, and he'll like try to combat it. And like we'll point out the Baumgartner jump or whatever, the Red Bull jump, you know, where it's like, yeah, it looks like you can see the curve of the earth, but then when you see the camera from the inside, the craft that he's in, the balloon or whatever, it's like you can see the flat level horizon, you know. And we pointed that out, you know. It wasn't shortly after that like fucking Neil deGrasse is like, oh yeah, well, you know, he was using a fisheye lens. He all like totally negated the whole thing because that was supposed to be like the big, you know, I see the curvature of the earth. He was so high. He's like, well, no, you don't see the curvature of earth from that high. He's even said that about the ISS, I think. I don't know if I think, has he said that about the ISS? You can't see the curve from the ISS. Because they sure as hell pretend that you can. They show you videos from the ISS that show curve. I can't remember if he said that about the ISS or not. But the point is, it's like nobody's ever going to have the ability to see the curve of the earth. And like, that's what he'll tell you. Like, we don't have access to, like, you know, aviation that'll take us high enough to see the curve of the earth. Man, damn, my phone's dying. I gotta grab my charger. Hold on a second. You want to get the raccoons some crunchies? They're trying to eat my foot. Get a cup and then fill it. You see that cup right there, the white cup? On the table? Fill that up with crunchies so the raccoons can eat it.
What crunchies like?
From the bag upstairs, you know?
Oh.
You know what I mean?
I go all the way up there.
All the way up there? Okay, well, never mind. I thought you might want to feed the raccoonies. You don't have to. Fine. Oh, now the phone's plugged in. I can't set it up. Yeah, shit. There's always something with this fucking thing. I gotta balance it. Is that gonna work?
Hi.
Hi.
Can I have some of these?
Yeah. Can you close the door?
Yeah. Okay, bye.
Start making your bed.
What?
You should start making your bed.
Okay.
Or like pull out, put the doggo and stuff on the floor so you can. Oh, here's some crunchies. Okay, raccoonies want some crunchies. I'll give you some crunchies. Want some crunchies? Yeah? Here you go. I'm gonna put a few piles so you don't fight with each other. Get over here, little guy. Over here, little guy. Here. There you go. You guys are crazy. You see the raccoonies chowing down? Let's see. No, you can't see. I'm standing in the light. Raccoonies eating the crunchies. They love the crunchies. Be nice. There was 4 of them earlier. Now there's only 3. Only 3. Raccoonies like the crunchies. Hi, Sue. How come you don't have a wrench? Sue, Sue, Sue. Now you have yourself a wrench. Did you change your name again or something? Or start a new? Is that Sue Finelli, right? Yeah, I need one of those pop sockets. It's a good idea. I need some gadgetry. Gadgetry. These little fucking grovelers. You guys are spoiled. You need to learn to go out and hunt for food. Little trash pandas. Calling a raccoon a trash panda is like a racial slur, or it's like, you know, misappropriating their culture. You fucking trash panda. But yeah, I think I could really, like, if I could just get one of these fucking globe proponents to just hear me out, so I could do my empire building presentation where it's like, okay, we're gonna build an empire. We're gonna, you know, it's just like tell a story. Kind of, you have to sort of distract them and you like kind of get them to forget that we're talking about flat Earth at all. You know, kind of just distract them a little bit. You know, and just be like, okay, we're gonna build an empire. You know, we're gonna start off by, I'm gonna build a big castle. We're gonna have, we have a piece of property. I'm gonna build a big castle right in the middle of the property. Make a big ass castle, and we're gonna go about building an empire. You know, and so we're just gonna keep expanding our property. But I want our castle to stay right in the middle of our property. We're going to expand in every direction, but the castle stays right in the middle. That way we can defend our property properly, and we'll always know our castle's right in the middle. So we're going to start expanding our property evenly in every direction. So naturally, you know, the property is in the shape of a circle. You know, that's how you're going to do that. So every time you get more property, you have to just step outside of your property line that you already had, and then measure it. Just walk all the way around it in a circle, and then you make a new property line. You know, and so you just go through this process where you're just like, let's go add more property, and you go walk like 100 yards away from your fence, and then you start making a new property line. You walk all the way around till you come back to where you started, and so you added that much more property. You build a new fence. It's going to take more materials because the circle's bigger because you added more property, and you just go about doing that. It's like this routine, you know. Everybody that's doing it with you, they get in this routine, and everybody knows what's going to happen. It's like, we're going to need more materials because we're building a bigger fence because we're adding that much more property. They can see a visible representation of the property they're adding. It's going to be a bigger perimeter, you know, naturally. We're going to have more space to encompass. And so you just keep going about doing that, you know, and it's like, and you know the castle's always going to be right in the middle where you started because that's where the first circle, you could see the whole circle. You know it's a circle, and the castle is right in the middle, and you've been expanding evenly in every direction, meticulously doing it, so you know that the castle is still going to be in the middle. And you just go about doing this. You could do this for years, you know, and every time you're gonna have to build a bigger fence. And you're gonna need more materials for the fence because it's gonna be bigger, because you're adding more property every time. It's gonna be getting bigger every time it's expanding, you know. And the castle's always right in the middle. The property's expanding evenly in every direction, you know. So everybody that's working on this knows that the circle's gonna be bigger next time, and I'm gonna need more materials. And it's just this pattern you get in, and it's like muscle memory, and it's like totally like, you know, it's like intuitive. Nobody would ever question what we're doing here. It's like the next circle is going to be bigger. We're going to have to add more materials for our fence because it's going to be a bigger, because we're adding that much more property. You can see the fence from the last time. It's 100 yards that way. You can see it. So you see all that property that we're adding in a complete circle all the way around. You know it's going to be a bigger fence that we're going to have to put up because we're adding that much more property. You know the castle's still right in the middle because we've been meticulous about how we're expanding evenly in every direction. So the castle's always going to be in the middle. The next circle we do is always going to be bigger. It's always going to require more materials. You just go about this for fucking years, and your empire would get so big. It's just so fucking big. It's like you feel like you're walking in a straight line when you're doing your property, measuring, but it's a circle because you always come back to where you started, and it's a circle because it was a circle when you started. You could see the whole circle in the beginning, but now it feels like you're walking in a straight line. But it's a circle because you always come back to where you started. And so you're being meticulous about it. You're staying exactly 100 yards away from the fence that you had prior, and so it's like you're just meticulously expanding your empire evenly in every direction. Castle's right in the middle, like it always will be, and each circle gets bigger because you're adding that much more property every time, you know. And like, so there would never be a point in time when somebody would come up to you and be like, "Hey, boss, how come our circles keep getting bigger? Like, how come our circles are bigger every time? Like, shouldn't they be getting smaller every time? And like, why is our castle still in the middle? How could it still be in the middle? It doesn't make sense. How could our castle be right in the middle, and how come our circles are still getting bigger? I don't get it. Nobody would ever come to you and say that, because nobody would ever think that, because nobody would ever. It wouldn't be a thing to think if you're busy building that empire. Nobody in the fucking world would come to you with those questions. Nobody. Because you see what you're doing, you're adding more property every time. And you've been doing it meticulously. You know that castle is always going to be right in the middle. There's no question in anybody's mind that the next circle is going to be bigger, that the castle will always be in the middle. The formula is quite simple. And so for somebody to come to you and ask you, like, how come the circles are still getting bigger? Shouldn't they be shrinking? And at that point, shouldn't the castle not be in the middle of our circle anymore? Nobody would ever think that. And if people asked those questions, they'd be laughed out of the room. In my opinion, I think that's what would happen. Because especially the people that were busy working on this project, this empire, because they would know that that's a silly thing to say. Like, I mean, it's just so obvious that that's not the right question. I mean, that doesn't make sense to ask those questions. But if the person really insisted, no, they really should be, the circles should be getting smaller every time. How are you going to make a smaller circle around more property? Like, how are you going to do that? How are you going to measure a smaller perimeter around more property? How are they going to shrink? How is the circle going to shrink? And how in the fuck why wouldn't the castle be in the middle? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. It was in the middle when we started. It'll always be in the middle. Well, no, because see, on the globe Earth, the fucking biggest circle you're going to make is at the median. And after that, the circles have to start getting smaller. And at the point when the circles start getting smaller, you're no longer circling the castle. You're circling the property you haven't acquired yet. So the castle wouldn't be in the middle of your circle anymore, and your circles are going to start to shrink, even though you're adding more property. What? What? Well, that's what would have to happen on a globe. He's right. The circles would have to start shrinking. Even though you're adding more property, the perimeter around it is going to start shrinking. And at the point when that starts happening, now your circle that you're making isn't circling the castle anymore. It's circling the property you haven't acquired yet on a globe Earth. If that's the reality, if we lived on a globe Earth, that's the result that you would have to see. Although it's completely counterintuitive, nobody working on it would ever expect that to happen. It seems incredibly ridiculous. But that's the thing. If you want to believe you live on a globe Earth, then you absolutely have to depart from what we all expect to be reality in order to believe in it. But we already knew that. I mean, upside down people really shouldn't even have to go much further than that as far as our debunking. Upside down people? Come on, man. No. Yeah, we got the crickets happening right now. I like crickets. Crickets. That's usually what I get to my circle presentation. Crickets. Nobody gets it. Nobody thinks it makes any sense. That's why when I do my drawings with it. I think it's a little easier for people to see what I'm talking about. I feel like I explain it well, though. Whatever, doesn't matter. You guys are already flat earthers, so you don't care. I get it. My head is getting dizzy now. Standing up is kind of tricky now. I think I'm breaking down. Situation's getting sticky now. My head is getting dizzy now. My head is getting dizzy now. My head's been spinning around. My head's been spinning, spinning. My head's been spinning. Spun off the shoulders and rolled to the ground. Now it's rolling through town. Have you seen my head rolling past you? Rolling past you. Have you seen my head? Have you seen my head rolling past you? Oh, it's so stupid. I don't know if I can play any music right now. It's too goofy. You better act fast, jackass. Last chance to hammer in the brass tacks. No time for lagging, nagging, bragging, dragging ass, all acting like a maniac. I do wonder why exactly I'm explaining that. Just consider the fact that once you grab your bug out bag, there isn't gonna be a way to turn back around. Cause this whole thing's gonna come down, that's right. Better act fast, jackass. Last chance to hammer in the brass tacks. No time for lagging, nagging, bragging, dragging ass, or acting like a maniac. Wonder why exactly I'm explaining that. Just consider the fact that once you grab your bug out back, there isn't gonna be a way to turn back around. Cause this whole thing's gonna come down, that's right. And we will see who's laughing when the place starts collapsing in a free for all. Anything can happen when the ship goes down, but so does the captain. And wherever you are is where you'll be stuck. And when this place goes belly up, you better have yourself a damn good plan when the shit hits the fan. Now when the going gets tough, you better be clever enough. You gotta know what the fuck to do. You're gonna run amok, or let the muck run you. You better act fast, jackass. Last chance to hammer in the brass tacks. No time for lagging, nagging, bragging, dragging asshole, acting like a maniac. And do you wonder why exactly I'm explaining that? Just consider the fact that once you grab your bug out back, there isn't gonna be a way to turn back around. Cause this whole thing's gonna come down, that's right. The whole thing's gonna come down, okay. I said the whole damn thing is gonna come down, that's right. Act fast, jackass, last chance to hammer in the brass tacks. Lagging, nagging, bragging, dragging asshole, acting like a maniac. Do you wonder why exactly I'm explaining that? Just consider the fact. Once you grab your bug out back, there isn't gonna be a way to turn back around. Cause this whole thing's gonna come down. I better go. I gotta make my kids bed. It's bedtime on the farm. question that was harder to find. And I know it will resurface. I can feel it creeping back into my mind. I can feel it creeping back into my mind. Feel it creeping back into my mind. Feel it creeping in the nick of time. But there's no such thing as coincidence. It's just easier for you to dismiss that moment. But maybe it was meant to be. Happily ever after. Once upon a time there was nothing to worry your mind. Nothing to concern you, nothing to keep you awake at night. Happily ever after. Once upon a time there was nothing to worry your mind. Nothing to concern you, nothing to keep you awake at night. Happily ever after. Once upon a time there was nothing to worry your mind. Nothing to worry your mind. Nothing to worry your mind. I'm running behind, but still running slower than most. But you see, I like to coast. It's just easier on my mind. Easier on my mind. It's easier on my mind. Once upon a time there was nothing to worry your mind. Oh yes. I woke up today to the sound of the rain falling down from the sky and brought a tear to my eye. So I walked on outside and watched as the clouds cleared away to a sky, a perfect blue sky. Teardrops and raindrops, this day has begun. behind every dark cloud there waits the sun. Has it been said, so shall it be done? When it was over, before it begun. But you know that I loved you with all of my heart, even though it was over before it could start. And that's easy to say and hard to believe, but some things have to be believed to be seen. Some things have to be believed to be seen. Believed to be my reactions are slow. I got nowhere to run, I got nowhere to go, and I'm going alone. So I sing you this song, and I know you'll sing along, 'cause you wrote it for me to sing back to you. Now that I do, there's no sign of you, and I can see what was true, even though you're afraid of what you made. I'm just here to rephrase. You'll see what has happened to everything fine. Always is all that just stays on your mind. That's easy to say and it's hard to believe, but some things have to be believed to be seen. Some things have to be believed to be seen. Believed to be seen. I woke up today to the sound of the rain falling down from the sky. Ooh, yeah. That song's all fucked up. We are doomed, doomed. Alright. What's up, 16 Alpha V? Nice to see ya. The yolk of the egg. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. We're in the Jesus egg. Living in the Jesus egg. I gotta write a song about it. We're just living in the Jesus egg. And when the water breaks, we'll be born through the pearly gates That's the thing. They're always trying to make the water break. Sending all them rockets to poke a hole in the egg. What's up, raccoons? Hungry, hungry raccoons. Never can get enough food of these guys. They're just always wanting to eat, sniffing for stuff. Give me some more food. I want some more crunchies. They didn't get enough food. Alright, I gotta go. Thanks for watching my show, guys.